He silently watches the scenery outside the window, having arrived in a city as chaotic as his own heart. This is a place where heaven and hell coexist, and it is also the city with the highest child kidnapping rate in the world. This man named Creasy has come here to visit his old comrade in arms, Paul. Paul is doing quite well in Mexico City, living in a beautiful mansion and hosting pool parties filled with beautiful women. He sees that Creasy isn't in a great state, as he has no job, no fixed residence, drinks constantly, and wears a thick, unkempt beard. For a man who served in the military for 16 years, Creasy seems unable to step out of the shadows of the past.
I think God will forgive us for what we've done. You know? Yeah.
Paul, who shares a deep bond with Creasy, cannot bear to see him continue to spiral down like this, so he introduces him to a job in Mexico City, working as a bodyguard for a wealthy family. Considering himself a drunkard, Creasy worries that others might not look favorably upon him, but Paul believes with absolute certainty that Creasy is more than capable of the job. More importantly, he wants to pull Creasy out of the mire.
And you thought of me. Take a job, Crease. Breathe some air. Then decide if you want to stick around or not. Besides, I'm glad to see you. You know, I got nobody to talk to down here.
Since Paul put it that way, Creasy can no longer refuse. Ultimately, he shaves his beard, puts on a suit, and sits in the employer's car looking clean and sharp. The employer is a young businessman named Samuel, who wants to find a bodyguard for his young daughter. But the final decision isn't his to make, as it belongs to his wife. On the way home, Samuel briefly asks about Creasy's background, and the honest Creasy tells him about his drinking problem.
I drink.
How does that affect you?
Coordination, reaction time. If top professionals try to kidnap your daughter, I'll do the best I can, but the service will be on par with the pay.
No one is to know about your drinking. That includes my wife.
Samuel's reaction surprises Creasy, and for a moment, he cannot figure out what this young, wealthy businessman is really thinking. The car pulls into a grand mansion. Creasy meets Samuel's family, consisting of his young, beautiful wife and their lively, adorable daughter.
Buenas tardes, señor Creasy. Mucho gusto en conocer.
It's in English, honey.
He originally thought Lisa would be very strict about the bodyguard's qualifications, yet surprisingly, she approved of this seemingly taciturn man at first glance. She asks her daughter to show Creasy around the rooms. The little master, Lupita, leads Creasy through the beautiful estate, warmly introducing him to all the household staff. She brings Creasy to an attic, which is a room specifically prepared for the bodyguard. The quirky Lupita seems very interested in Creasy, who is tall, sturdy, and dark-skinned.
Have you protected a lot of children before, Mr. Creasy?
Creasy, you can call me Creasy. And no, you're the first.
Creasy. Bye, Creasy. Bye, Bird.
Before bed that night, Lisa asks Lupita for her thoughts on the new bodyguard. The perceptive Lupita sees the hidden pain inside Creasy's heart.
He's like a bear, too.
Yeah?
Big, sad bear.
Is he sad?
I think, or something.
Good night, honey.
In his room, Creasy constantly fiddles with the Glock 34 in his hand. He continues to drink heavily. The bullet ejected from the pistol is something the drunken Creasy can no longer catch, as his reflexes are far from what they used to be. He gets up before dawn. As a veteran, Creasy still has a strong sense of duty, and since he accepted the job, he intends to do it well. He starts designing safe driving routes on a map early in the morning. While he works seriously, the parrot in the room keeps squawking incessantly. This was a pet left behind by the previous bodyguard. Creasy finds it annoying, so he simply opens the cage and lets it go, allowing it to find its true home.
Home to Emilio. You're home free, baby.
Often, a person's subconscious actions reflect their true inner thoughts. A Mercedes-Benz pulls out of the estate. It is time for Creasy to take Lupita to school. Sitting in the front, Lupita looks at the scars on Creasy's hand and tries to strike up a conversation. But at this moment, Creasy only wants to focus on his work and doesn't want anyone getting close to him, so he keeps a stone face and coldly brushes off the girl's questions. The elite school is quite safe, as every car is registered and inspected by the police before reaching the gate. The driver also needs to sign at the gate to complete the process. At this time, Sister Anna also meets Lupita's new bodyguard, and in her eyes, he is truly something different.
Do you ever see the hand of God in what you do?
No, not for a long time.
The Bible says, be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good.
Romanos capítulo 12, versículo 21. I'm the sheep that got lost.
Perhaps he is also someone who needs care and love. Creasy thus officially begins his new job. He waits for Lupita to get out of school. On the way home, Lupita curiously asks him all sorts of questions. As a first-time bodyguard, Creasy's attention is tensely focused on any potential road emergencies, so he rudely interrupts Lupita's attempts to get to know him.
I don't understand. This is a job in order for me to do my Wait a minute.
Lupita suddenly opens the car door, and thinking she's running away, Creasy hurriedly gets out. As it turns out, Lupita just opened the back door and sat inside. Creasy realizes then that what he said might have been a bit too much. He has never been married, has no family, and has never had children, so he doesn't know how to handle situations like this. The only way he knows how to deal with problems now is to grab a bottle and drown his sorrows. In his drunkenness, he begins to blame himself and cry over his dark past. As a professional tool of the state, he has no idea how much blood is on his hands. And now, he has hurt the feelings of a little girl. He feels beyond redemption and wonders if God could ever forgive him, even once thinking about unaliving himself with his gun. But when he pulls the trigger, the bullet fails to fire. He looks at the bullet that didn't unalive him, thinking that perhaps God still wants to save him. Creasy's various behaviors are actually signs of a psychological condition common among veterans: post-traumatic stress disorder. This condition severely affects one's daily life. A suffering Creasy calls Paul in the rain, the only person he can confide in. It is then he discovers that in the deep of the night, a girl is standing by the window, watching his pain in the rain. Creasy keeps the bullet that didn't unalive him, believing that everything is predestined. The next day, Creasy drives Lupita to school as usual. Since things were a bit unpleasant yesterday, Lupita still sits in the back seat. On the way, Creasy notices a car suddenly following them. So he asks Lupita in the back for a pencil, wanting to jot down the license plate number. The clever Lupita guesses Creasy's intention. She also looks back at the plate and writes it down in her own notebook. Just as Creasy is about to write the number, a car in front honks, forcing him to stop immediately by the roadside and watch the car drive past. Besides driving, Creasy also has to accompany Lupita to her swimming lessons. He notices that Lupita doesn't actually swim slowly, but she always finishes last. So in the car, he points out her problem with pinpoint accuracy.
What do you think you should do? You're the fastest one in the water, you're the slowest one off the blocks. What do you think that means? What do you got to do?
Get faster off the blocks.
Get faster off the blocks.
They cautiously begin to communicate again, and Lupita feels that this man, who is like a big bear, isn't actually as cold as he seems. Her parents, who are business people, have to go to the US for a week on business. During this time, Creasy spends almost all of his time with Lupita. He acts as her coach during the day, seriously training her in swimming. At night, he becomes her tutor, helping her with her homework. In his interactions with Lupita, he unknowingly starts to smile, and the friendship between them warms up rapidly. Lupita's innocence, kindness, and unreserved trust act like a beam of light, piercing through Creasy's heart that had been frozen by his past experiences. She doesn't see him as just a hired bodyguard, but sincerely shares her life with him, even leading him to experience the joys of an ordinary life. A week later, Lupita's parents return and bring her a puppy, which makes her very happy. But this also shows that her parents are so busy with business that they don't actually spend much time with her, as Lupita lacks real care from her parents. Creasy's constant companionship and presence perfectly fill that void. A comment from Sister Anna to Creasy confirms exactly this point.
Today, you are her father.
Creasy stands by the pool, tensely watching Lupita compete with all her might. Lupita doesn't let him down as she takes first place in the race. Lupita happily throws herself into Creasy's warm embrace, and they are both overjoyed. And for the first time in a long while, Creasy laughs heartily. He takes Lupita to meet his friend, Paul. The two of them talk and laugh like a father and daughter. Lupita listens with great interest as the two men talk about their embarrassing stories from when they were young, giggling at their jokes. When everyone is at their happiest, Lupita suddenly pulls out a teddy bear to give to Creasy.
Bought it with my own money. Open it.
Inside this teddy bear is a precious gift, Looking at this beautiful pendant, Creasy feels the meaning of his existence for the first time. He is no longer a lonely individual drifting outside the world, but someone Lupita needs, understands, and relies on. He puts away his liquor bottle, as it is time to return to a normal life. However, even the seemingly carefree Lupita has her unhappy moments, as she loves swimming, yet her father insists she learn the piano. Samuel finds time to play golf by himself but doesn't accompany his daughter, claiming he wants to give her the best of everything. Yet he has no clue what his daughter truly wants. Creasy takes Lupita to her piano master. While waiting for the owner to open the door, Lupita picks a small wildflower from the ground and gives it to Creasy. This is a symbol of their most sincere feelings. During the 1-hour lesson, Creasy waits outside the house. At that moment, he sees a police car parked on the road, mysteriously blocking the intersection, which immediately puts him on high alert. Right after that, he sees the same car that followed him before with the same license plate. At this time, Lupita also finishes her piano lesson and walks out. Creasy senses something is wrong and hurriedly shouts for Lupita to run. Run! The police blocking the road suddenly fire at Creasy. After Creasy takes out 2 officers, another gunman from the car tracking them opens fire on him. Having already run some distance away, Lupita hears the intense gunfire and, worried about Creasy's safety, runs back toward him. Creasy, unable to fend off so many attackers alone, falls to the ground after being hit by several bullets. Lupita cries out and throws herself by his side, but she shouldn't have run back, because a sturdy man grabs her, carries her into the car, and drives off in a flash. Creasy is powerless to stop them, and his own life hangs in the balance. The kidnapping causes a sensation. Since Creasy unalived 2 police officers, it is clear that corrupt cops are involved in this kidnapping. Lupita's home is swarmed with people. Lisa is heartbroken, as even hiring a bodyguard couldn't prevent her daughter from being kidnapped. Just as she reaches the point of collapse, Samuel doesn't appear to be in much pain, but rather shows signs of nervousness. His lawyer, Calphus, tells Samuel not to worry, seemingly believing that Lupita will return safely before long. At this time, a high-ranking police official approaches Samuel. He is Fuentes, the head of the anti-kidnapping unit specifically in charge of such cases. Calphus wants to handle the negotiations themselves without police intervention, yet Fuentes remains exceptionally firm and officially produces written documentation. Calphus has no choice but to back down. Not long after, Samuel receives a call from the kidnappers. The other party demands $10 million, split into 2 black bags with $5 million each, to be delivered along a set route. Fuentes insists on being Samuel's driver, as he must personally oversee every step of the process. In the early hours of the morning, Samuel strips off his shirt as required and drags the 2 large black bags through a remote street. Then, in a parking lot, he tosses the money bags into the trunk of a white car. Just after he leaves, the kidnappers drive over to collect the money. However, the police hiding nearby suddenly appear. A fierce firefight breaks out, and in an instant, the kidnappers attempting to take the money are all unalived. This causes a massive problem, and the kidnappers call once again.
You betrayed me. You killed my nephew. You took my money. Señor Ramos, que Dios se apiade de su hija.
Hearing this, Lisa can no longer bear it and grabs the phone, pleading with the kidnappers not to hurt her daughter. But the answer she receives leaves her in utter despair.
And I'm very sorry for whatever happened to your nephew, but I beg you, por favor, no le haga daño a mi niña.
I'm really sorry. I wish we had talked sooner, Señora. I'm really sorry. Now it is too late.
She lashes out at all the police in the house, blaming them for her daughter being unalived during the exchange. At this moment, Samuel finally shows an expression of pain, realizing his precious child is truly gone. Paul drives to find a secret old building. Creasy, who was brought back from the brink of death, is hiding here. Fearing he might be harmed by corrupt officials, Paul moved Creasy from the hospital to this location. Subsequently, Paul tells Creasy the tragic news.
She's dead, Crease. It's a mess. Somebody hijacked the drop.
Hearing this, Creasy is too pained to say a word, only death gripping the pendant Lupita gave him. The director of the investigation bureau, Manzano, brings his men and finds Creasy's hiding spot. He isn't looking to cause trouble for Creasy, but rather wants Creasy to help him identify more corrupt police officers. He shows Creasy photos of police officers one by one, all of which Creasy denies recognizing. But he doesn't know that Creasy recognized one of them as the driver sitting in the car on the day of the kidnapping. Creasy firmly burns this man's face into his memory. Seeing that he cannot get useful information from Creasy, Manzano simply reveals the truth to him. In fact, all the police photos he showed Creasy are of corrupt officers who are members of the criminal organization La Hermandad. This is a vital lead for Creasy. After Manzano leaves, Paul takes Creasy away from that place, as it is no longer safe. While driving, the ever-vigilant Creasy notices someone following their car. Paul immediately recognizes the person following them as Mariana, Mexico City's famous female reporter known for covering hot-button issues. It seems she believes Creasy possesses the sensational news she's looking for. Paul feels this place is no longer suitable for Creasy to stay, but Creasy doesn't want to just walk away. Instead, he wants to meet this female reporter. He has Paul drive the car to the crime scene, where the familiar surroundings trigger his painful memories once more. He sees the flower Lupita gave him lying on the ground. The flower is still there, but the innocent and lovely child is gone. Mariana proactively finds Creasy and tells him that La Hermandad is a deeply hidden criminal organization involving many high-ranking government officials and corrupt police, and Lupita is a victim of this group. Therefore, she hopes to work with Creasy to expose this organization. As a local, she can certainly help him in some ways. This time, Creasy doesn't refuse Mariana. Instead, he is moved by her words and is willing to cooperate with this ambitious woman. Creasy has Paul take him back to the estate. He briefly packs his belongings and goes to Lupita's room. The furniture in the room is covered in plastic, as everything here has been sealed off following Lupita's disappearance. Creasy picks up a notebook from the desk, remembering Lupita once told him she had written down the license plate number of the car tracking them. But Lupita's memory wasn't complete, and she was missing the last digit. As Creasy flips through the notebook, Lisa walks in, not expecting him to return. But she understands the bond between Creasy and Lupita and feels deeply guilty, realizing she didn't provide her daughter with as much emotional support as Creasy did. Now, her regret comes too late. Creasy promises Lisa that he will seek revenge on everyone who hurt Lupita.
I'm gonna kill him. Anyone that was involved, anybody who profited from it, anybody who opens their eyes at me.
He has Paul take him to an underground arms dealer to select suitable weapons and equipment. As a former elite soldier, he picks out lethal killing tools. These include a Colt 1911 Commander, a Zabala side-by-side sawed-off shotgun, a grease gun, and Type 69 rocket-propelled grenades. After purchasing these massive weapons, Creasy is about to go on a killing spree in Mexico City. He first asks Mariana to help him investigate the license plate number missing its last digit, and Mariana's old flame happens to be Manzano. At her request, he helps track down the location of the car. The driver of this car is none other than the corrupt cop he saw earlier, Jorge. Under Creasy's coercion, Jorge drives the car to the edge of a deserted cliff. Creasy strips Jorge naked and binds his hands to the steering wheel. Now, he is about to do what he does best, a brutal interrogation. Yet, Jorge seems not to fear Creasy at all, treating his threats as mere jokes. So, Creasy decides to give Jorge a demonstration to see if his words are indeed a joke. He cuts off one of Jorge's fingers, then kindly uses the car's cigarette lighter to cauterize the wound and stop the bleeding. This makes the guy much more cooperative, and he begins to answer Creasy's questions properly. Creasy learns from Jorge that La Hermandad is strictly hierarchical, and no one has ever seen the boss's face, only knowing him by the alias, The Voice. The Voice always issues commands over the phone to different units to carry out kidnappings. Jorge belongs to the kidnapping unit, while the hostages are kept by the protection unit. Seeing Jorge hesitate again regarding the protection unit, Creasy shows no mercy and cleanly slices off the man's ear. As he performs these deeds, his mind is filled with images of the lovely Lupita, and he will never show an ounce of compassion to those who hurt her. After a brutal interrogation, Jorge finally gives up a member of the protection unit, a nightclub bouncer nicknamed Butcher. Seeing that he has asked enough, Creasy closes his notebook. Jorge also realizes his end has come, so he begs Creasy for one last cigarette. Creasy grants this request before sending him on his way to the afterlife. He then pushes the car off the cliff, and this is only the beginning of Creasy's revenge. Disguised as a nightclub patron, he approaches Butcher and coerces him into leading the way to the La Hermandad Protection Unit's stronghold. Creasy pulls out his Zabala side-by-side sawed-off shotgun and blasts a massive hole right through the wall, scaring a woman inside into running out with her hands up. With that, all 3 members of the protection unit are firmly under Creasy's control. Creasy unalives Butcher with a single shot. He leaves one man alive for further questioning. Under his interrogation, he actually extracts even more useful information from this man. The members of the protection unit communicate with the boss, the voice, daily via mobile phones, and their pay is incredibly low, earning only $200 every 2 weeks. All the money is transferred through a bank card. Immediately after, he uncovers another hidden truth about Lupita's kidnapping. It turns out that right after Samuel placed the 2 bags of $10 million in the car and left, Fuentes led the police to attack the La Hermandad members and stole the money. Consequently, this incident enraged the boss, leading to Lupita being unalived. Having obtained the useful info, an enraged Creasy naturally does not spare this man either, as all these people were participants in the kidnapping. Now, only the last woman from the protection unit remains. She is terrified of death, and while she doesn't know the boss's exact location, she can return the girl to Creasy. Hearing this, Creasy is stunned, never imagining that Lupita might still be alive and right there. So, under the woman's guidance, he sees the girl. Unfortunately, it isn't Lupita, but another poor girl. Creasy turns on the gas stove, lights a fire, and leads the girl and the woman to the center of the dance floor. He fires several shots into the air with his shotgun, intending to disperse the crowd and escape quickly. But unexpectedly, the crazed people become even more excited, as if performing a final, absolute revelry. Eventually, the entire roof explodes, plunging into a sea of fire. Instead of being afraid, the people cheer and shout even more fanatically. Creasy hands the rescued girl over to Mariana, who has arrived on the scene. He then gives her the bank card, asking for her help to investigate who is behind the transfers to these scumbags. He learns from Mariana that Fuentes is indeed a bad egg, a completely corrupt police chief whose security is so tight that an average person cannot get close. But such problems are no issue at all for Creasy. He carries out his revenge in a methodical manner, yet no one knows that his gunshot wounds haven't actually healed. In many cases, people live by a certain spirit, which could be desire, instinct, hope, or family. For Creasy, this spirit is rage, the rage of revenge, which has sustained him until now. Carrying a bag of weapons, Creasy arrives on a road near Fuentes' home. He occupies a window in a house at the end of the road. The owners of the house are an elderly couple. The old man tries to use God to persuade Creasy to stop, but he doesn't realize that Creasy is also well-versed in the Bible. Creasy holds a Type 69 rocket launcher as he keeps watch by the window. He finally sees Fuentes' convoy driving onto the road. A single rocket blast blows the lead car to pieces. Amidst the chaos, Creasy reaches the street, fires several shots at Fuentes' attempting to flee car, and then tosses an incendiary bomb under it. The car instantly bursts into a massive fire, and the people inside are unalived by Creasy the moment they emerge. He spares only Fuentes' life, then drives Fuentes' car and takes him away from the scene. Since Creasy kidnapped a high-ranking police official, a citywide manhunt is launched. Knowing the police would deploy helicopters, Creasy specifically parks the car directly under an overpass in a bustling area, remaining hidden in plain sight where no one can find him. Meanwhile, Fuentes is tied to the rear of the car, unable to move. Creasy tells the corrupt cop that he has inserted a C4 explosive into his anus. He gives Fuentes only 5 minutes. Under the pressure, Fuentes finally admits that he indeed led the men to steal the ransom that night. But he tells Creasy a secret. In the 2 black bags he stole, there wasn't $10 million, but a mere $2.5 million in cash. The other bag was filled entirely with scrap paper. The missing $7.5 million had actually been swapped out by Calfus before the car even left the estate. Creasy senses that Lupita's kidnapping is not simple at all and seems to harbor many secrets. But for now, he still needs to deal with the corrupt cop before him. He doesn't press the pause button on the bomb. Instead, he turns and walks away from that sinful man. The explosion once again ignites a raging inferno, and this fire seems even larger than the last one. Creasy arrives at Calphas's home, but he is a step too late, as Calphas is already dead in his own pool. Creasy enters the house, looking for clues. He notices that the printer seems to have unfinished content, so he presses the print button to output the remaining hidden information. What is printed out are several bank transfer records. Creasy is shocked to find these are the transfer records to the bank card of the La Hermandad Protection Unit, and the remitter is none other than Lupita's father, Samuel. They say even a tiger doesn't eat its cubs, and Creasy doesn't understand why Samuel would do such a thing. He returns to the estate once more, wanting to demand the truth from Samuel about what is going on. At this time, Lisa also comes into the living room. After confirming multiple times that Lisa was unaware and not involved, it becomes clear that the culprit behind everything is Samuel. Under the interrogation of Creasy and Lisa, Samuel finally confesses the truth.
You have a wife. You tell me what happened.
It was in this room that my father prayed.
You know what? I don't give a about your
My
fucking
father prayed. He prayed that his gambling debts and his infidelities would be forgiven right in this room.
Samuel!
What, Lisa?
I love you. Tell me the truth.
I didn't inherit a kingdom. That's the truth. You want to know the truth? I inherited his debt and his mess.
You
and I inherited
tell me
his lawyer.
what happened to my baby. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it, man.
It turns out that his seemingly prosperous family business was actually buried in debt. Calphas gave him a crooked idea. Calphas would find people to intentionally kidnap his own daughter, Lupita, so he could then file a claim with the insurance company to swindle a massive payout. He thought everything would go as Calphas said, and his daughter would return after a few days, but he never expected that subsequent events would spiral out of his control. One could say that Lupita's kidnapping was masterminded by Samuel himself. Lisa is pained and furious, unable to accept this reality.
You're killing my will.
Lisa's words were directed at Creasy. She was utterly despondent regarding the husband before her and only wanted him dead immediately. Creasy doesn't act. Instead, he leaves a pistol for Samuel and places the bullet he once used to attempt suicide before him. Samuel, who always loved to pray, understands that his time for atonement has come. Creasy walks out of the living room and a sharp gunshot echoes behind him. Creasy leaves the sorrowful estate, imagining he sees Lupita watching him from the nearby road. But it is all just his hallucination. Creasy receives the latest news from Mariana that the address for that bank card is actually the residence of the Voice's wife. Creasy finds the location, which is a house situated in the slums. As a child enters the iron gate, Creasy pulls out his shotgun and takes the chance to burst inside. He quietly enters the house, where a pregnant woman is with several children. Suddenly, a man appears and fires a shot at Creasy. Creasy immediately chases after the fleeing man. The man drives a small van out of the yard, only to be smashed into by an oncoming truck. Creasy drags the man out of the van and brings him back into the house. It turns out the pregnant woman is the Voice's wife, and the man is the Voice's younger brother, Aurelio. The cunning Voice is not in the house, so Creasy has the woman call her husband. He finally makes contact with the boss behind the scenes. Because he holds the two people closest to the Voice is quite apprehensive, assuming Creasy wants money. But Creasy tells the Voice to listen to Aurelio's voice first. Creasy shatters Aurelio's finger with a shot, letting the Voice hear his agonizing scream. He doesn't want money at all. He wants the Voice himself, intending to tear him to pieces. The Voice remains silent for a long time before finally proposing a deal. Unexpectedly,
I'll give you her life for your life. And in exchange,
What life? Whose life?
the girls. Pita's.
Lupita is not dead. The Voice kept the girl alive because he felt she still had utility, never imagining she would be used now. Thinking the Voice is lying, Creasy demands he name Lupita's teddy bear. After a short while, the Voice calls back and provides the answer.
Creasy. She calls the bear Creasy Bear.
Creasy is instantly stunned, having never imagined Lupita was truly still alive, so he agrees to the deal. On the way to the exchange location, Creasy calls Lupita's mother to tell her the place so she can pick up her child. Lisa cannot believe her ears, and the hope for life returns to her. Under a bridge in the outskirts, Creasy meets Lisa, gives her his shotgun, and tells her to prepare for her daughter's return. Meanwhile, Lisa sees that Creasy's hand is still bleeding continuously. This man has sacrificed everything for her daughter. Creasy slowly walks toward the bridge. His steps are slow because his life is steadily draining away. At this moment, the bridge looks more like a path to heaven. Upon Creasy's appearance, the kidnappers bring out a girl from the car. It is Lupita, whom Creasy has been longing for. This is his angel. Running toward his angel, they embraced each other tightly. Creasy tells Lupita that her mother is waiting for her. He lets go of the girl, telling her that he is going home as well.
On the Blue Bayou.
I love you, Gracie.
Yes, I know.
Watching Lupita run back, Lisa releases Aurelio. This woman has also become stronger after enduring so much. Perhaps from now on, she has learned how to protect and cherish her daughter. With his wish fulfilled, Creasy no longer has any lingering attachments. Perhaps now it is time to go home. He is taken into the kidnappers' car, as they intend to take him back with them. But midway through the journey, Creasy closes his eyes. He finally can rest in peace. The movie Man on Fire ended many years ago, but its resonance lingers. The emotional bonds it portrays are as deep as a brand. It makes us reflect on whether we cherish those pure, soul-redeeming emotions in our lives, and whether we offer equal protection to those who give us warmth and trust. Sincere emotional bonds, in whatever form they exist, are the most precious treasures in life. Perhaps now is the time to spend some quality time with the loved ones by your side. See you in the next one.